All right. Hey, everyone. We're going to get started in about under a minute or so. It's giving the people time to get settled and join, and we'll kick off the fun. All right. So at the hour mark now. Thanks everyone for joining. Obviously, today, kind of discussing a huge feature that Opendock has been a focal point of Opendock for over a year and a half now, and that is gate management, otherwise known as driver self check-in. So hosted by myself, my name is Danny, a senior account executive with LoadSmart, specifically on the Opendock team. I've been here for a long time now and seeing the industry change, as well as the technology that you guys are going to see today change, as you know. Also with me is Tyler. He's our solutions consultant and product lead. He'll be managing the chat and any questions, as well as Julia Darrold, the tip of the spear for Opendock and our product manager. So, couple housekeeping items first. Oops. Recording notice. You guys are all going to get this recording afterwards to kind of digest, review on your own time. Obviously, you can always ask us questions as well in the chat. And at the end, we'll end with some additional help and resources. Contact details who you need to reach out to, probably just Tyler's personal cell phone number or mine. Kidding. We're not going to do that. So with that, guys, let's get it started. So, what is game management and why is it built? I know some of you have it and haven't been able to implement it yet. Some of you may be thinking about purchasing it or just Opendock as a whole. How this came about, obviously, Opendock as a whole was created almost 6 years ago, and we've gone through this general progression after LoadSmart totally revamped it. And what happened was Opendock was created to eliminate these paper-based processes over phone and email. But what was missing was still having driver paper logs, interactions, and things like that. So we created a way for drivers to check themselves in. Now, what you guys get out of that, not just is the driver information attached to the appointment and in your system, but is also more accurate arrival times, more importantly, for that driver accountability. So now you've got carrier, broker, scheduler accountability. You've got your own personal accountability for the KPIs most of you have already been using, and you've got the driver accountability on that level now. Also controlling traffic flow in and out of your yard. We've heard multiple stories of truck backups, even cops being called on facilities when trucks back up into the street at the check-in gate or in the yard. Improved visibility into appointments, and then again, reducing congestion and the manual check-in. But it's great for me to talk about these things. It'd be even better if we have real life stories about how this has actually impacted some of our customers. So I was lucky enough to speak with one of my best customers who is a world-leading EV battery manufacturer. They've also become one of the best users of gate management and have implemented a lot of rules along the way from that. They have a 93% adoption rate. What that means is that of all the drivers showing up at their facility, 93% are using this process. That's high. As you can imagine, any facility, whether you're doing low volume, high volume, whatever that means to you, 93% is great. And there's a lot of takeaways that we can look into from this. The biggest one, you're going to be saving about 5 to 10 minutes per dwell time per truck. Now, if you're got all your paperwork together and you're an absolute fiend when it comes to your current base process, maybe it saves you closer to 5 minutes. If you're going from 0 to 100, this is going to help you guys a lot. Keep track of paperwork, become that one source of truth, and again, save that time. Now, one of the ways that they really became so successful with this, guys, is enforcing a 3-strike rule for repeat and non-compliance folks. So while they had a compliance team, they actually built out part of the logistics side to create a process where if there is a bad behavior or someone refuses to use check-in, there's a 3-strike rule before that has a talking to with the folks, brokerage team, dispatch team, whoever needs to hear that business is on the line and everyone's being affected. More importantly is also the visibility, right? So they have posted printed QR code signage throughout the warehouse, in addition to the gate and the receiving door, so that everybody sees it, whether it's in a driver's lounge, above a TV, outside the door, a vinyl banner sitting in the yard, or a metal street sign. There's QR codes everywhere. But also, as some of you guys have seen, we give you a off-the-shelf template to use. They actually went ahead and created their own check-in guide, the check-in 101, if you will. And again, this is the biggest piece. There's always going to be initial resistance. So from one-off carriers to regular guys who have been doing this for 30 years in the same way, drivers are fickle. There's no two ways about that. This is something for you guys to push. We made this for the warehouses to help, and drivers ultimately do start adopting us and find it easier. And for those who do need more help, or maybe not are not as tech centered as some of the younger drivers, that's okay. Ultimately, this is a very easy process. So the biggest thing is to keep it simple at the start, and you guys can add into certain processes as you go along. Implementation tips from them, like I just mentioned: start simple, keep the load type simple, and the check-in questions simple. One thing I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes is, just like those carrier required fields for the folks that are on the scheduling side, you can customize the fields that are required for drivers. So whether that's driver's license number, a picture of something, whatever it may be, you can have them do that. But keep it simple, right? We want to limit the driver's interaction as much as possible so that you guys can hit that 93 or even higher adoption rate. Focus on collecting all the critical data, again, without overcomplicating that process. And then customize the signage, right? You can use our off-the-shelf template, but take it, make it yours, use a Word document, PDF, anything can be done with this. They had a 20-step process that was simply going line by line of what to do next for the drivers. And then educate the drivers on the QR sign usage. We have a lot of folks that I'll show you that use both a QR sign and a tablet to help both accommodate 2 drivers at once. And for those folks that may just be more comfortable using technology, they can use a tablet. And then encourage use, more importantly, of the Opendock confirmation number, not the BOL number or reference number that you guys use to validate those appointments. The reason that I say to use the Opendock confirmation number and not the BOL number is because no matter what you do to the appointment on the calendar page, that confirmation number does not change. And as you know, both for safety reasons and because drivers are fickle, we don't want them moving around with different numbers in the cab and looking for things. So use the Opendock confirmation number that is universally assigned to each appointment. And then adapt your setup over time, right? We talk about Opendock being the super flexible system. You're not going to have to go and update the system every 2 years. It just does it at a refresh of the page. It builds with your business. Same thing with the smaller processes within there. Driver check-in can be adapted. Maybe you just start collecting their name and phone number and the company that they're driving for. And over time, as your business needs grow, as your compliance needs grow, you do that. And we've seen in recent years a lot more governmental audits, whether you're in an FTZ custom zone, whether you're having ISR reporting from the government on the West Coast, whatever it may be. This is a compliance factor. With gate management, you can then help collect some of that information, attach it to the specific appointment, and not have all of this paperwork on the back end. And again, guys, just a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. So, printing the check-in banner. What you guys are seeing here is the off-the-shelf template that we give you. And I'm going to show you where to find this again in practice in a few minutes within the settings. But it's just a quick check-in, right? This is just a PDF. We have a lot of folks who go to signs.com and get a $100 metal street sign or a vinyl banner, or just laminate this and put this on the back of a door somewhere. but you're going to go to your warehouse. I know if maybe some of you are in your accounts right now, you can feel free to go along with me. But go to your warehouse, select settings, scroll to gate management, click in check-in banner in the portrait, and then just print or download the banner for display. So if any of you are scanning this QR code right now, feel free and go ahead. It links to my own personal account, and I'll see those check-ins roll in as an unplanned arrival. So you guys who are scanning it right now do not have an appointment. I'll see that, and it'll be marked as well for your own KPIs. If you haven't tried that with your driver base, if they show up without an appointment, have them do this. We want everyone to be included, and for you guys to know who's showing up without an appointment. On to the next. Talking about custom signage. This is a scaled down version of that EV battery manufacturer, what they were doing. But they essentially took that QR code and made a brand new template. So we hear from folks, again, drivers are fickle. We want to limit the amount of times that they have to come to our facility to get used to this process. Well, why not just walk them through it step by step at the sign rather than having them come and answer questions in the office? So in this case, they're going to scan the QR code. Again, this links to my Chicago facility with their device, start the check-in. And from number 2 to 6, by the way, guys, is where it would start with a tablet. So the QR code just links to that same URL. Select the purpose of their stop. So what you guys are going to see in a couple of minutes is one of the new updates with Opendock, which is the yard management tool, or at least what drivers see when they arrive for that yard management tool. And again, we've had this general progression from just Opendock scheduling to Opendock with driver check-in, and now linking that all in with a holistic dock and yard solution that you guys can reach out to your account managers about if you're interested. But those drivers are going to select the purpose of their stop. Is it a live load? Are they picking up? Are they dropping off? Or is it a drop and hook? Enter those custom asset details, maybe just a trailer number, for example, or a license plate, driver check-in details, and then complete the check-in. Keep it simple. Now, again, I can talk as much as I want about this, but we thought, why not just include a picture from one of our customers' facilities of how they have it set up? Now, this customer decided to go with the twofold combo right here. They did the tablet on the wall and a check-in template on the window. So one, what this allows you to do is check in 2 drivers at once. What this also allows you to do is if you have a driver who just, for whatever reason, you know this is going to happen, doesn't want to use his personal phone, that tablet is there to help him do that. And it even becomes a lot easier, again, when you start using that custom signage. So let's do this in practice. Share my screen here, guys. All right. Cool. So what some of you should be seeing right now is my Opendock account. The appointments page that you guys are used to. It's color-coded based on the status of an appointment. And as you know, if a trucker has arrived, it's got purple that it turns to. I see some of you already made a check-in, so that's awesome. Let's do this in practice now. If somebody arrives without a confirmation code, these up here are going to show in the pending area. Now, I mentioned that there's a lot of drivers who may struggle with this. We know that there's some types of transportation modes that just are not going to have an appointment made, whether that's LTL, parcel, or maybe someone just forgot to make an appointment. We still want them to be included in this process. And so if they check in without a confirmation code, it goes into pending. And what that allows you guys to do is, one, track that they arrived as an unplanned arrival. And I'll show you where that is tracked in the back end in terms of overall scheduler metrics. But 2, if I click into this one right here as an example, it's going to allow you to do a couple of things. One, you can text that driver upon arrival, which is really cool. So now you can actually tell them where to go within your facility. But also, maybe this is a hot load and you absolutely have to take this. You can create the appointment for them on the calendar in about 20 seconds. You can link it to an appointment if they simply forgot they had that or they forgot their confirmation code. And if you can't take them or you say, no, this is past, this is your fourth strike, we're going to reject the load. You have those three options there. But let's look at this in practice from what it looks like when someone has an appointment. So I'm going to take a confirmation number, scan that QR code wherever that may be in your facility, and this is what's going to show up. And we're going to start the check-in. Now, I mentioned this whole progression of Opendock. If you are a facility that either has yard management today or is looking to adopt it in the future, this is the first page those drivers will see. If you don't have that, you can forget about this page and we can skip it entirely. But I'm just going to say I'm here for a live load. Put in the asset ID and select next. Now, again, guys, what you're seeing here is fully configurable to what you need. The carrier or scheduler fields are fully configurable. The ones for the warehouse are fully configurable, and the ones for the driver are fully configurable as well. We're going to put that confirmation number in. Put in my phone number. And any additional notes, and complete the check-in. That's it. It's all it takes. It's very quick and simple. And as you know, once the driver gets used to that, all of a sudden, now that 5 to 10 minutes is becoming a reality and save time. Now, on your page, that automatically turned to purple without me doing anything. On my phone, I automatically got that text. From here, I'm going to show you where this looks like in the arrivals tab. That planned arrival with the confirmation number goes into the planned area. So I can text myself where to go. I can send files, so you can send PODs over text to drivers. You can look into the appointment itself. And that's where we get to the next step. We know that Opendock is super flexible, and you guys need to be able to edit things. You need to be able to change things. But we also know that if you click carrier arrived, it's you clicking carrier arrived. If the driver's checking himself in, there's no more he said, she said. It is shown as checked in by carrier. This one was marked as early, so it's a good egg. And you can move forward from there, and it's all tracked behind the scenes. Now, getting into where this leads to next and what you get with gate management is the data side of it. So I'm going to go into the insights here that some of you are familiar with, and some of you I encourage to use more and see what you can do here. But again, you've got those 4 pages of data. I'm going into the carrier insights, and you're going to see that carrier scorecard. First page, as you know, this is scorecarding who's doing the scheduling. With gate management, what you're going to be able to start doing is, one, tracking those check-ins, how many total check-ins each one's doing. And what you can do from this is see, okay, of this total amount of check-ins, is that company using it to the full extent when they arrive? And then also unplanned arrivals. Again, you can see those bad apples, and maybe we drop these 2 carriers. So from that point, we're good on the demo. I hope, again, guys, please ask any questions on this, but that is how you save that 5 to 10 minutes in practice, going through the flow. Again, keep testing that check-in up there. I see the numbers popping up. Pop back in. All right. So we went through this checklist, guys. Get the signage in place. We know that it's a lot to get a new system up and going. We make it as easy as possible to do so, but we still know that it takes adoption. Start with printing off the sign. You can customize it. You can just use our off-the-shelf one as a stopgap, but get that sign out there. Order form optimization, make it clear, customize, check-in questions, and get those load types simple. So we know, guys, that this all starts with the scheduler, We want those schedulers to be communicating to the drivers that they're tendering it to and the carriers, if they're brokers, that this driver is going to be checking himself in upon arrival with a QR code. Put that in the instructions page. Where is that QR code? Mark it on the yard map that's available on the scheduling portal that you guys can upload. Make it clear to those brokers, carriers, or customer routed freight that this is what the driver's process is going to be when they arrive. Again, get that driver communication plan in place. This all starts with communication. And then more importantly, what we found from that customer example, they had a very successful internal champion who pushed this. One to the compliance team, two to the drivers, and three to the schedulers, making sure everybody knows what's happening with the new system, new process, more importantly, and that they can implement KPIs based off that once they start seeing success on the adoption part. So roll that out in phases, get it going, get someone to really push this, and then start looking at the data behind it. Weekly usage reviews, as I just mentioned. Track those dwell times, see if there's anyone who's had a lot of unplanned arrivals that are not supposed to be having unplanned arrivals, track adoption, and then spot opportunities to improve off of this. More importantly, guys, communicate with us. Contact your account manager, visit the community, go to your articles and facts and questions and answers. Ask us, ask me, Tyler, Julia. We're all available to you guys. Find us on LinkedIn, find your account manager on LinkedIn, whoever you need to, reach out to us, ask questions. And then we've also got a lot more of these webinars coming up. So what I want to mention, guys, is if you find success with check-in, what you might find as a next step is actually looking into another product here called NavTrack. This is our next webinar. It enhances the gate security, integrates into Opendock's check-in, and allows you to automatically track damages, license plates, trailer numbers, anything in between with computer vision cameras on the dock. So again, attend the webinar, ask your account managers about that, and learn more if you're a high security environment. But with that, really appreciate you guys all attending. Tyler and Julie, I'm not sure if there's any questions in the chat.
Yeah, there are a few things that I do want to make sure that we address. I try to reply on the chat, but I do want to, like, for anyone else that's asking themselves the same questions, I think these are good ones for us to perhaps address, out loud. And guys, keep on putting your questions to the comments here. If there's anything that we're not addressing right now, I'll make sure that we send you guys an email and continue and re get a reply to you guys. One of the ones that I wanted to bring up is Pedro asked where the driver sees the messages so that you guys know when they first check in. So they're going to scan that QR code. A URL pops up for them to complete the check-in. So it's all web-based. They don't need to download any apps or anything. It's really a URL on Safari or Google Chrome, whatever it is that they're using. They complete the check-in, and the moment that they complete the check-in, they're going to start receiving SMS messages. So again, they don't need to download anything. Danny's showing you guys on the screen kind of the messages that he's got when he completed the check-in here on the demo. So through that chat on the SMS, they will be able to communicate with the facility, sending and receiving messages, including document uploads. So, but if by any chance they check in, there's a document missing, information missing, you can just go into that chat and ask for them to provide that additional information. This is especially good when they're checking in, for example, without an appointment on the schedule. Do you need more information to make sure that you know exactly what they're bringing, whether they're here to drop off or they're here to pick up, and how to assign them to the exact doctor that they need to be headed to. So all of that, use that two-way SMS to communicate with them, ask all the questions that you need without ever having to go out in the yard and finding this driver and completing that flow. So that's how the two-way SMS is designed to work, and hopefully it's gonna help you guys with that. Let's see what else. Oh, someone commented as well that the live drop pickup options are very confusing to drivers. 100% we hear you guys. This is not the first time we hear about this, and this is something that we're looking to improve. So I'd be super happy if you guys would send us, if on an email, here on the chat, your suggestions on kind of how you would envision this, what are the options that you guys think are the ones that are the best. We will be reviewing that very soon and hopefully simplifying that and making it clearer and easier for the drivers to pick the right option. Just one comment. Only the customers or warehouses that are using or piloting YMS see that first screen. So some of you guys might be a little confused or kind of like, hey, I don't have this popping up on my gate management. If you only have gate management, if you only have driver self check-in, that first screen asking, are you here for a live, a drop only, a pickup only, or a drop and hook? That only shows up for customers or for warehouses that are using our YMS. So if you're not using the YMS, you shouldn't be seeing that. We have about 5 minutes, guys. I'm gonna try and see if there's anything else on the chat that we can answer within that time. But Mar here, she's gonna help me reach out to all of you guys, and we'll do a follow up with anyone that has not had their questions answered, or with anyone that needs an extra help. I know that Yvette mentioned something that I would love to get on a meeting with you and get to the bottom of what is the issue that you're having so that we can fix that. Okay, Rod asked, so when they make an appointment, they receive a confirmation number to check in, correct? Correct, Rod. So when you're creating the appointment, after the appointment is created, you have two things. So one is the reference number. Facilities may have that as a PO number, a load number, a shipment number. It really varies. You guys can are able to determine what is it that you want to capture on that field. And Opendock creates a confirmation number that is unique to the appointment. That confirmation number is generated when the appointment is created, and they will have that information. So when the appointment is scheduled, they're going to see a summary of the appointment and they have like confirmation number. They're able to copy that information and send it out to everyone that needs to receive that. So one of our recommendations is to have very clear on the warehouse instructions, for example, steps to check in, or drivers must have confirmation number and or reference number at hand to be able to check in. If you guys start communicating that on the scheduling portal, on the notifications that are being sent out via email with the appointment statuses, that starts to sink in a lot more and it closes that gap of, hey, drivers are showing up without that information because they have not received that from whoever scheduled the appointment. Now, whoever's scheduling the appointment knows that the driver is not going to be able to deliver or to do a pickup because this is your guys' process. They have to have that information, much like they have to have all the other information, like a BOL or whatever it is when they arrive to the facility. So that becomes part of this is the information that I need to have to be able to check in.
And
Um,
also answering, looks like
Go ahead.
Christian's question here, is there any way to limit how early they can check in, or stop them from checking in the wrong day, Julia?
Oh, perfect. Yes. So we have a setting that is the threshold to check in. You can establish in the level of minutes how early and how late you want drivers to check in to appointments. So say for example that, hey, I do not want to receive drivers arriving to the facility 30 minutes early to the appointment because that's too early for me. I don't have a place to allocate them. So you can put in 30 minutes. If they try and check in 31 minutes early, for example, they're not going to be able to check in. So they're going to have to wait for that 30-minute window. Same thing for how late. So if you say, for example, hey, if they passed an hour of the appointment time, that's considered a no-show. I don't even want to receive this guy. So you can put in 1 hour or 60 minutes and that they're not going to be able to check in because they're late to the threshold that you guys established. So that is completely configurable.
And Michael, hear you in the in the question channel here, 100%. That is also something that is typically out of your control, which is dispatcher to driver. That is also why all of our successful users have implemented some sort of communication with the scheduler, whether it's the dispatcher, broker, carrier, or even sometimes customer routed freight. Starting on basically the email that is sent out saying drivers will check themselves in. A lot of our customers do have that in their email signature as well. And then also on the carrier instructions page, everything comes down to communication. So 100% hear you on that part, Michael. And always looking for new ways to improve that. as well, both in the way we present it, it's implemented, and the product itself. And Rod, 100%, this is keeping it simple for drivers. We know that a lot of stuff gets lost in that cab. So if there's something universal there, this makes it a lot easier. And that's the Opendock confirmation number.
A couple people here commented as well on, hey, how do I see the numbers on check-ins and come, drivers are checking in? So if you go to reporting and your carry insights, you're gonna see there's a tab there. Thank you, Danny, for showing that to us on the screen. You're gonna see a tab there. There's check-ins. So if you click on that tab, you see all your carriers and the percentage of check-ins that they're doing using the self-check-in or that QR code versus their appointments being marked arrived manually by a warehouse user. So that's the way that you can see compliance on a carrier level. Let me see if there's anything else here. Can you over communicate with the driver, like telling the driver what doctor uh to get in? I don't know if this is a question or a comment, Lakeisha, but yeah, yes. I mean, use that two-way SMS to communicate with the driver. Let them know, hey, which doctor they're supposed to be going. Ask them, like, if you need a confirmation, hey, are you there yet? Send me a message when you're docked. Like, all of that allows for you guys to keep up with everything that's happening. And then like Danny said, a lot of it is about accountability and the driver being part of the process as well and kind of allowing or helping with the entire flow and the entire process. So it's keeping things transparent, communicating with the drivers, making sure that you guys have all the information that's needed. And if not, you can use that to a SMS system to, close in the gaps.
And there's been two kind of call outs on the notifications. And Julie, I'm not sure if you want to address that as it is a priority in
Oh,
terms of
yes, that's a
updating
good
that.
one. So, do you mean that notifications for arrivals? Guys, just so something very exciting, we are reviewing a lot of our notifications and alerts. A lot of updates are going to be made in terms of providing more visibility, more alerts, more notifications, and even allowing for you guys to set up what is it that you want to see that's more important and whatnot. So that's coming up in the next few weeks. Some of those improvements already, and one of the things that we're keeping in mind is for sure to provide a better notification or alert on new arrivals and new messages from drivers. So meddling, yes, the top bar for notifications is coming up soon, and that will be a top bar for notifications that are going to be seen across the YMS and doc scheduling. I'm very excited for that one. We're working on this right now. We'll be out in the next couple weeks, and you'll be able to see, arrivals, messages from both from the YMS and the scheduling.
Hey, Jude, there was a question about, I don't know if you got to this, sorry if you did, but from Astrid, asking why they have to click the finalize button. It's
Oh,
kind of
they don't
confusing.
they don't have to click the finalize button. So we thought about the finalize button just to help out with warehouses that are using the tablet. So if you're using the tablet, you complete a check-in, you can either quickly finalize it so that a new check-in can be done right away, or if you don't click on that, it reloads the page so the next check-in within 30 seconds so the next check-in can be done. So that's what the finalize is for, is to either quickly close that check-in and initiate a new one or just leave it there so that the next option to check in. I know it can be a little bit or it could be a little bit confusing perhaps if you're using your cell phone. That's something that we can look into to I guess improve that experience, but it's mostly directed to a tablet experience so that you can have multiple check-ins in a row. Oh, we get several drivers that finalize and check in 2 or 3 times. Okay, this is a good call out, Chris, because perhaps there's something there that we can do to help them. Hey, you've completed your check-in, you're well done, like providing them a better feedback so that they don't hit that finalize button and try and check in again. This is a great call out. I'll make sure that I send that feedback to our designers. Guys, I think that we're at time. We'll take a very, thorough look into all the questions that are left unanswered, and we'll make sure to reach out to you guys and reply to everything. Feel free to email us if you want to have a meeting with us. I know that someone asked, how do I know who my account manager is? we'll look it up, see who your account manager is, and tag them on an email to you so that you can communicate with them. So, yeah, feel free to email us to let us know what else it is that you guys need. We're here to help you guys. If you guys already have game management, how can you make the best use out of it? And if you're not using game management, but if you are excited to try it out, we'll make sure that that happens. Thank you so much, Danny, for conducting this webinar. You did an awesome job, and thank you all so much for participating, being here, asking your questions and comments. And yeah, looking forward to the next one. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.